It was about 4 years ago now. A woodworker friend of mine gave me these cutoffs. He was a carpenter. And I remembered that on one of the cutoffs he had written the word teak. And I never thought about that until just, I think, yesterday. And I thought, okay, I wonder if I can find that cutoff. And I did. It's actually this one right here. And probably can't see it because he wrote it in pencil, but it says teak right there, if you can read upside down. So this is teak, and I do believe it is untreated. In other words, they didn't do any kind of pressure treating or anything like that on it. So the color that it is probably natural. Now on this side you can see where it has been not stained, but there's probably some sort of flat varnish or something went on there. But this side I believe is bare, and you can see if you look into where they had drilled in here, it looks like the real wood. So this is what this particular piece of teak actually looked like. And yeah, now this I know is oak. I've worked with oak a lot. I have actually pieces of oak that look more like oak, but anyway, so I know that's oak. This might be walnut, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do a close-up of the edge here, and you can see maybe somebody that actually knows what this is here can tell us what this is. Now, I should actually be a little bit embarrassed here because I sort of pride myself on being a woodworker. I think I've indicated I'm a better woodworker than I am a model maker. But you know, learning the different species of wood has never been important to me. It should have been, but it wasn't. Now, if you do actually know for sure what this is, let us know. If you're just speculating like me, don't confuse us with a speculation. Now, this here, I believe, is maple. And I've used maple before, and it's very hard, it's kind of heavy. But anyway, about the teak. Now if we Google teak wood, as I've done here, you get all kinds of different images. And not all of these may be teak, but I think the word teak comes up on most of them. And this is supposed to be teak lumber, or maybe in the part of the world that you live, you would call this timber. Anyway, it all seems to have pretty much the same color, so I'm going to assume that it's all, basically teak. And this being lumber, it would be basically what you might call dry. It's probably the way the decking on the ship would have looked if they used teak, and it was brand new and hadn't weathered. Now I know a lot of viewers were mentioning how 55 looked more like weathered teak, and I fully agree with that. I fully agree. Anyway, by far the majority of us thought that the 78 would look the best. And I do believe the 78 does look a lot more like at least the color as we're seeing here. Now, I could be wrong. Anyway, there's no end to this, so let's get out of it. If we go on the HMS Hood Association website and we check to see what they've got to say about painting models, well, I did a little bit of a search here, thanks to Nigel. He put me onto this, and we just type in up here Tamiya FX78, and it's mentioned 3 times. So, yeah, that's just another vote for the XF78. We are all familiar with the fact that when wood is wet or treated, it changes color. So I just have some ordinary water here, and just to demonstrate this, we don't need to make a big mess, I hope. But when I draw this across, you notice how everything is changing color. I'm wondering if this was treated. It kind of beads up a little bit. Oh no, maybe not. Anyway, you can see here, it all changed color. So a wet deck is going to look different from a dry deck. And an old weathered deck is going to look even different again, even if it's wet. Anyway, we've beat this to death, haven't we? Okay, now taking all of this into consideration, earlier this morning I went on the hobby store's website, and I did order the 78. And about an hour after I ordered it, I got a message saying it's ready for pickup. Now, I did send them a little note telling them that I wouldn't be picking it up until Saturday morning. We don't need it right away, and besides, it looks like it's going to rain. Yeah. Now, we want to get this right, and I'm pretty sure I've already got it figured out. Here's our portholes on the drawing. Well, here's our portholes. Then we've got this little jog right here. Well, that's this thing right here. This probably represents maybe the armor belt, I'm not sure. But at any rate, this row of plating, or line of plating all the way along here, it follows all the way from the stern all the way to the bow. And you can quite easily, for most of it, except for maybe right here, you can see where the bottom of the plating is, all the way along, right to the bow. And I think if we use that as a guide for our black line, you notice the black line here on the drawing is maybe just slightly above this where I'm touching right now. I think if we just use that as a guide and just sort of eyeball it all the way along. And a while ago I was thinking, maybe the 10 millimeter would be better. But I took a piece of 10 millimeter tape and I put it up against the side, and it just, to me, it looks on a model that it's just going to be too bold, too wide, even though it is more correct. So I'm going to stick the 6 millimeter on, and anyway, here we go. Okay, obviously I've turned the hull upside down because I do believe it will be easier to line our tape up with the bottom of this line right here if the hull is upside down. Secondly, I've taken the tape out of the dispenser because I think it'll be easier for me to get pull the tape off. Another thing is I was thinking of wearing my blue painting gloves so I don't get fingerprints all over the sides here, but I think if I'm careful we should do pretty good. I did wash my hands with soapy water just a moment ago. Anyway, let's just see what we can do here. If it doesn't work out, I can always take it off, right? And we want to go right along near the bottom there. So how is this going to go? Just, whoops, I guess I didn't tuck it in enough. Okay, I'll push on that just a little bit. There, it should stay. Now don't pull too hard, Ron. Okay, now we carefully move everything down. Key word is carefully. that's not quite right either. No, what happened there? Okay, let's do that again. I don't know if you can hear it, but the rain is coming down pretty hard on the roof right now. Oh, that doesn't look too good there. That's better. Okay, I'm about as far to the right as I can go here. Well, it may not be perfect, but unless we look at it with the macro lens, I think it's going to look pretty straight. Okay, I'm going to just go along here now, and places like right here, I want to make sure that it's, maybe I should be using something different. Maybe I shouldn't have pulled the tape so tight right there. Rub any grease off my finger because I'm going to want to press hard. Okay, that should be alright, I guess. I don't think there's too many places like that. You know what? I could probably just go right around the other side with this if I carefully turn this all around. Anyway, I'm going to do the other side much the same way. We'll see how it goes. I don't think I'm going to have time to paint today, though. We'll just see what happens here. While I was editing out that last scene, because I was rather curious as to how it was going to go, okay, just tape this down somehow here. And the reason being is so that when I turn this around, I don't want to kink that. Okay, just alright, now when I pick everything up here, this tape isn't going to double back on me. Anyway, I haven't done anything since the last scene, and I have to pat this down all the way along. It looks fairly straight. I think it'll be okay. And our black line is going to be as wide as the yellow is there. Anyway, so while I was editing out the last scene, all of a sudden I hear my battery backup clicking in and out, and I thought, oh boy, I wonder if this storm going over is going to give us a power failure, but so far so good. So if there's no episode today, you'll know what happened. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for today, folks. Got to get the camera out of the way here to get this turned around, and yeah, thanks for watching. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.